My roommate used my name to date a billionaire online, but sent him her own beautiful photos. So when the billionaire discovered I was just a 200-pound fat girl, he furiously destroyed my family's company. My parents jumped from a building in despair, and I followed them down. My roommate came to my grave wearing a huge diamond ring, her face full of grievance. Rosalie, he proposed to me. It's such a shame you jumped so early. Otherwise, with your 200-pound body as my bridesmaid, you would have made me look absolutely stunning by comparison. I only used your name to date him online because I felt sorry for you, fat as a pig and obviously never having experienced love. Who knew that the moment he saw you, he'd be so disgusted he'd bankrupt your family. I hope you'll be happy in your next life. Fortunately, I was reborn. Now, there are still 3 months before Adrian sees me. In this life, I'll make her understand that using someone else's name requires repaying with your life. One what? You ordered me a limited edition Ferrari. A piercing shriek shattered the dorm room's peace. The two roommates scrolling on their phones immediately looked over. Kimberly Shaw had already bounced up to sitting position on her bed, her face filled with uncontrollable joy and showing off. Adrian, you're not kidding, right? She glanced at me, deliberately pressing the speakerphone button. Billionaire Adrian Chase's indulgent chuckle echoed clearly through the small dorm room. Baby, it's just a car. Why would I kid about that? I saw it in France and thought the red would suit you perfectly. Wait 3 months for me to return home, the import paperwork will be done by then too. I'll personally deliver the car to your dorm. The call ended. After a few seconds of silence came the envious squeals from the other two roommates. Kimberly. Adrian really bought you a Ferrari. Oh my god, you're so lucky. Kimberly climbed down from her bed amid the amazed exclamations, walked over to me, and shook my arm coquettishly. Rosalie, will you come with me to meet Adrian when the time comes? This is my first online relationship. I'm so scared of being catfished. I looked up, my gaze landing on that face written with innocence. In my last life, I was fooled by exactly this act. My heart softened, and I nodded. In the end, I paid for it with 3 lives from my family. Kimberly transferred into our dorm during junior year. At that time, she had just been diagnosed with a rare autoimmune disease. This disease required long-term high-dose steroids and supplements. Not only was the treatment expensive, but the medication's side effects would cause crazy weight gain, swelling people up like balloons. And Kimberly's family situation, forget medication costs, they couldn't even scrape together her living expenses for next month. When her illness flared up, she could only hide in the dorm and cry. Back then I felt sorry for her, so I went home and begged my parents. The Connor family not only funded all her university expenses but also let her use Connor Pharmaceuticals' new drug early. This medication had minimal side effects and didn't cause obesity, but it hadn't officially launched yet. At my repeated requests, my parents specially approved access, providing this new drug to Kimberly as compassionate use medication. This preserved her prized beauty and slender figure. But my kindness only fed a viper. Senior year, she secretly used my name to hook up with billionaire Adrian Chase. She claimed to be the Connor Group heiress but sent him her own heavily edited beautiful photos. In my last life, also today, she received Adrian's call about delivering the car and asked me to accompany her to meet him just like this. I agreed. 3 months later, Adrian really showed up at the school gate driving that Ferrari. Kimberly linked arms with me and excitedly went up to greet him. But when Adrian called out Rosalie to the carefully dressed up her, Kimberly acted like a startled rabbit, pretending not to know Adrian at all, her face blank and innocent as she pointed at 200-pound me. You must have the wrong person. She's Rosalie Connor. Adrian's face instantly darkened. He thought I had stolen Kimberly's photos to deceive his feelings. In his rage, he used his power to destroy my family. And after my parents and I jumped to our deaths in despair, Kimberly finally found Adrian with tears streaming down her face, crying out her difficulties. Adrian, the person who dated you online was actually me. I was too insecure. Your family background is so good, and I'm just a poor student with nothing. I was afraid you wouldn't even look at me, so I used Rosalie Connor's name. That day at the school gate when I pretended not to know you, I wanted to know whether you liked me as a person or just the identity. Adrian lovingly pulled Kimberly into his arms and immediately proposed. From now on, you don't need to borrow anyone else's name. Because in this world, there's no more prestigious name than Mrs. Chase. What a touching love story. Too bad it was built on the corpses of my family of 3. Rosalie, are you not answering because you don't want to come with me? Kimberly's voice pulled me back to reality. I pulled my hand back expressionlessly, avoiding her touch. Yeah, I don't want to. Her expression changed instantly. She leaned close to me, using a volume only we could hear, gently stabbing with her words, jealous. Jealous that I have Adrian? Jealous that he casually gifts me a Ferrari while you can't even get a boyfriend? Malice gleamed in her eyes as she smiled. Before, you threw money at me and watched me be grateful felt pretty good, didn't it? Now it's my turn to rise up. Rosalie Connor, that pitiful sense of superiority you had is completely shattered, isn't it? Done talking? I asked. Kimberly was momentarily stunned by my flat reaction. She was about to continue when I already had my phone out, dialing the butler. James, immediately stop all assistance to Kimberly Shaw, including her monthly specialized medication. The butler's voice came through the phone steadily, Miss Connor, effective immediately. Miss Shaw's medication for next month was supposed to be delivered tomorrow. Of course, effective immediately. I looked at Kimberly's face gradually losing all color, my voice calm, from this moment on, the Connor family won't spend another cent on her. And won't provide another pill. 3 After I hung up, the dorm fell deathly silent. The other 2 roommates looked at me, then at Kimberly, not daring to breathe. Kimberly froze for 2 seconds, then forced out a stiff, dismissive laugh, fine, cut me off. Who are you trying to scare? Your family's sketchy drugs, who knows if they're even safe? For all I know, you were using me as a test subject. I didn't want to use them anymore anyway. Once my boyfriend comes back, what medication can't I afford? I put away my phone, my tone utterly flat. Fine. Then you just wait. Kimberly had no idea that without the Connor family's specialized medication, switching to those ordinary steroid medications on the market, what awaited her? Buffalo hump, pock-marked face, central obesity, purple stretch marks. The beauty she prided herself on would deteriorate day by day, swelling, bloating, decaying. I was waiting too. Waiting for 3 months later, when Adrian saw with his own eyes that his dream girl from the photos had become a grotesquely bloated monster, what expression would he have? That scene would definitely be interesting. I didn't look at Kimberly's face struggling to maintain composure anymore. I turned and started packing my luggage. You're moving out? A roommate asked quietly. Yet. I stuffed several thick medical textbooks into my suitcase. Need some peace and quiet. I needed an undisturbed environment. Because I was going to execute the plan that Kimberly had interrupted in my last life. I studied medicine, and my focus was specifically on metabolism and weight management. Many people found it laughable. A 200-pound fat girl researching weight loss? They didn't know that this body of flesh was voluntarily put on. Freshman year, I had modified a pharmaceutical formula based on pharmacology. Significant weight loss with virtually no side effects. My father was excited and wanted to open a new product line under Connor Pharmaceuticals. But those old fossils on the board of directors scoffed. Something a kid came up with, and you dare claim no side effects? Miss Connor, how old are you? With this kind of credentials, who would believe it? Want to prove it? Fine, try it yourself first. Their challenge actually inspired me. So, with my father's tacit permission and support, I began my self-experimentation plan. I spent nearly 2 years gaining 100 pounds through special diet and pharmaceutical assistance. In my last life, just as I was about to start a live stream documenting my entire weight loss journey, Kimberly dragged me to meet Adrian. After that came earth-shattering devastation and family destruction. All my hard work and plans, along with my life, turned to ashes. With this second chance, I couldn't wait anymore. I zipped up my suitcase. The girl in the mirror was still bloated, but in her eyes, that flame that had been dormant for 2 lifetimes finally reignited. In my last life, more than one person said that when I was thin, I had a face that could make people forget to breathe. Well then, in this life, I'll reclaim that dazzling life I should have had, along with the debt they owe me.